All right, welcome everyone to the channel. One of the questions that I do often get when talking about my collection is, do they all run? Does every vehicle run? And I don't know, I guess maybe because having 1920 vehicles or what have you, a lot of people think that some of them are projects or what have you, which I understand, but no, all of my vehicles do run unless there's something going on with them that they need to get to the shop or need to be fixed before I can take them out and drive them. All of them are in running condition, all of them are licensed, all of them have insurance on them, all of them are ready to go at a moment's notice, and that's the way I like to have them, all at my disposal and ready to go. Now, I try to get each vehicle out at least once a month, and I've talked about this before. To me, it's important to drive them. Letting them sit is not a good thing, so I try to at least get them out, get them up to operating temperature, get all the fluids moving in the vehicles, get them shifting through all the gears, and at the very least run it around the block. I realize that running around the block doesn't sound like very much, but living out in the country, my block's about 2 or 3 miles. That gets them up to operating temperature and gets at least the fluids moving through them. Now I will try to do a little bit more than that. I have a little route that I take that I can put about 10 miles on them, and sometimes I'll just take off in a direction and drive for a little ways and then come back. Or oftentimes I go to like cars and coffees or events or whatever with the vehicle. So I do try to get a few miles each month on every vehicle. I don't think any of the vehicles get more than maybe at most 400 or 500 miles a year. I don't drive them a lot, but I do want to keep them operating. I do want to keep them in good shape. I want to make sure that the seals don't dry out, that the belts don't get cracked, and that everything gets up to operating temperature on a regular basis. So today, with not a lot going on, it's a nice day out, good weather to be out and about, I thought that I would get a couple vehicles out and I would take you guys along with me. So on today's agenda is going to be the 56 Chevy 210 and then my 65 C10 parked right in front of it. I usually try to work it out that way where the vehicles I do drive are kind of in groups and close by, so if this one's going to be out, then it makes sense to take the one in front out. It just saves time and makes more sense to me. So let's get started on that right now. Usually it works when the batteries are actually charged. For some reason the battery's dead on this one. I'm not really sure why. It hasn't been that long since I've driven it and it is completely dead. I'm barely even getting the fuel pump coming on right now. So yeah, plan B. It lied. It said ready, but it wasn't ready, obviously. Now see, here's a situation where if this was parked in front of the 65, I could just start the 65, go out, go for a drive, let this one charge up, and when I got back, it'd be ready to go. Unfortunately, the 65 has a small drain in it, and after sitting for maybe a week or so, it'll drain the battery, so I usually have it up front on a battery tender. So this one I've never had a problem with. It usually sits back here. And the battery's new. I just checked it. It's like a year old, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, we seem to be in business. Car started. Take it for a little drive, put a few miles on it, get the battery charged up. Okay, so with this one, since the battery was dead, I'm going to probably take it a little bit more than just around the block. Try to charge the battery up, figure out what the situation is with that. Also, I forgot until I took off Got a little bit of a leak in the power steering pump that is on the list to get fixed. Still needs to get over to the workshop. I can hear the power steering pump just a little bit, so it's probably a little low on fluid. So I'm gonna kind of take it easy on that. But for you guys that aren't familiar with this car, haven't seen the video on it, this is a 1956 Chevy 210. I probably own this one for about maybe 3 years now, somewhere in that area. It is just a crate 350, probably like a 250 horse, something like that. It's got, you know, power steering, power brakes, discs on the front, drums in the rear. It does have vintage AC. It's got a 700R transmission. I think fairly tall gears in the rear end. I don't know. It's probably like maybe a 330-ish around that area. So this car cruises very, very nicely at highway speeds. It's a very nice driving car. It really drives kind of like a modern car, and it's actually fairly quiet inside. Not a lot of rattles, fairly tight car, really easy to drive. Right now we're humming along about 60, just very smoothly. Definitely not a fast car with a crate 350 in it, but that's okay. There are just some vehicles that don't need to be fast. I'm okay with that. But it's just a very nice driving car. This is a car that I really didn't intend to buy. I went to look at it just thinking I was just going to go look because it was close by. It was only a few minutes from my house, and I thought about it for about a day or two and decided I wanted to buy it. I've always liked the Tri-5s. I think they're beautiful body styles, 55, 56, and 57, and I've always wanted to own one, so I'm enjoying having this car. I really don't have any plans to get rid of it. You know, if someone comes along and makes me a really good offer, a good trade offer, I might consider it, but I do like having a Tri-5. I think a Tri-5 is really one of the vehicles that every collector should own at least once in their life. As a Tri-5, I think the other one is a Shelby Cobra replica. Those are just my two. You should own at least one before you die. Okay, everything's up to temp, so I'll blow it out a little bit. I do like to take them and blow them out a little bit, blow the cobwebs out of them, get the carbon off the spark plugs and everything like that. So I like to at least do a little spirited driving every time I take them out. You know, I actually came close to getting rid of this car recently. I was gonna trade it for something else. Another Tri-5, of course, but really glad I didn't. I forget because I get involved with other cars and dealing with other cars, and like right now the GTO and the General Lee kind of have my full attention because there's projects and things like that going on with both vehicles. So I forget really how nicely this car rides. I mean, really, even my other cars, just how nicely they ride and run and drive. And it's like right now I'm cruising along, I've got the air conditioning on, following a big truck that's stirring up some dust, but that's another story. But really, it drives like a modern car. I could daily drive this car very easily and be very comfortable doing it. It really does. It rides great, drives great. And I would imagine if I kept my foot out of it with the overdrive, it would probably get pretty decent mileage, not too bad. So it's good to get them out like this at least once a month so I can continue to focus a little bit of attention on each one of them and remember really how good they are and really why I own them. Like, I need a reminder of that. Okay, so back from that drive, I'm gonna hop in the 65 and take it out. Kind of thinking maybe I might have an alternator going bad on me, because right now at idle I am under 12 volts. I rev it up and I get just a little over 12 volts. When I was going down the road with the air conditioning on, I was only running around 10 volts, so could be an alternator issue. I didn't think it could be the battery. I might have to replace an alternator here pretty soon. This one started, it was plugged into the battery tender, so all good there. It's warmed up a little bit enough to at least take off. Probably just gonna run this one around the block, my normal little quick 2 or 3 mile jaunt, and then bring it back, and hopefully the 56 will start and I'll pull it back in. Alright, so for everyone that doesn't know the story on this truck, it's a 65 Chevy C10. I have owned it now for 35 years. I got it just shy of my 16th birthday. My dad bought it brand new in 65 right here locally, and so it's been in this family since 65. It's going to stay in the family. Eventually it will go to my son. When he gets older, out on his own, more established, I'll go ahead and hand it down to him. So I figure I got another 10 or 15 years of enjoyment out of this truck. I've done a lot to this truck over the years, but right now it's a crate 350, a 330 horse crate 350, 700R transmission. It's got 333s in the rear. It is a one-legger as well. Nice cruising truck, power steering, power disc brakes in front, drums in the rear. It's got a Dakota digital dash, and it does have vintage heat and air, which is nice. Right now I've got the air conditioning on, even though it isn't that hot outside, but air conditioning is blowing cold very nicely. It's just a nice cruising truck. This goes down the freeway very well. Not fast, not impressive. It's just a nice looking, nice cruising truck. Yeah, it's 65, taking about 2,000 RPM. Like I said, it's good to get them out like this and enjoy them. Kind of forget about them, get sidetracked on other stuff, and forget really how good they look, how good they drive, how good they feel, and again, just why I love all these vehicles so much. The temperature in it, so step on a little bit here. Good cruising little truck. Chirp second there a little bit. That's always kind of cool. It's funny, I did a video on the Pro Street talking about how I've changed so much, how what I used to think was fast and what I think is fast now. And I used to think this truck was pretty fast. I was pretty proud of it, pretty impressed, and it's like, no, not really. But it just comes with, you know, having more experiences with faster vehicles and maturing and everything like that. I mean, this is fast enough. This is definitely not a vehicle that I want to go fast in anyway. It was never designed to do, you know, 100 plus miles an hour. You can. I've had it over 100 once or twice, but I don't really like to. Step into it, run up to about 70, 80 miles an hour, and I'm good. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, just thought I'd get a couple vehicles out, take them for a little drive. Thought it'd be fun to take you guys along. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, all my stuff's going to be down in the description below. And God bless, take care, have an absolutely amazing day.